go? God sees your face. Well, they're on the waves very long. But what we'll do is we'll look at 3 points. The first one is pride goes before the fall. The second one is, O ye of little faith. And finally, we must keep our eyes on Jesus. First of all, pride goes before the fall. You know, our text says that Jesus sent the disciples back to Capernaum. It was night, okay? He sent them back to Capernaum. They had just been instruments of Christ to feed 5,000 people. I don't care if it was night. I don't care what time of night it was. They willingly went back to Capernaum. And I wonder why they wanted to get back to Capernaum. Because that's where family was. They wanted to get, what do you think? They wanted to get back to tell them how they fed 5,000 people. They, from their hand, it kept multiplying, and people were fed by the disciples' power. They wanted to brag and tell people how wonderful they were. The miracle that they produced. Yes, pride does go before the fall. Sometimes we get ourselves into a problem, don't we? Because if we do something good, we want the world to know about it, don't we? We want to get on the rooftop and shout about it. And yet, pride goes before the fall. The story is told about Greg Larson. He tells the story. He said, he heard the story of a salesman. And he'd go house to house, and when he'd sit in the living room with the people, he would always clinch the deal by saying something that would appeal to their pride. He would say, let me show you something several of your neighbors said you can't afford. And with that sentence, he always sold the deal. Pride goes before the fall. Secondly, O ye of little faith. The disciples were probably dirty, worn out, tired, exhausted. They were probably close to death to begin with. And they get into this boat and they go across the sea. As they're rowing across the sea, the waves are battering that boat. There's a headwind, and they just couldn't make it any farther. All night they're fighting. They may have been rowing. They're exhausted and beat. They may have been collapsed in the boat, just looking and ready for the boat to sink. And lo and behold, in the wee hours of the morning, maybe just as the sun was peeping up, there they saw a ghost. What they said was a ghost coming across the sea to them. Now, in Jewish understanding, in their belief, they felt that ghosts did exist, that Satan was real, that demons were real. And there was a passageway. They also felt that the world was flat and was on pillars. And in the Psalms sometimes David would say about the earth being supported by pillars. Their understanding was that the devil was in the netherworld. And the only way he could come to the surface and torment people was through the abyss, or bodies of water. So a lake, a stream, a well, that's how ghosts or the demons came up out of the ground to capture people and draw them down to hell with them. Well,